Dragon Ball Super has been divisive since its release in 2015, to say the least. From the changing of characterizations of certain characters to the retelling of movies in the anime, which made some of these arcs feel redundant, it's definitely been one of the most polarizing series that we've seen in the Dragon Ball franchise. But I think one of the things that Dragon Ball Super has actually done better than any other series is make transformations feel important again. YouTube, what is going on? It is Tyler, and today I want to talk about the way that Dragon Ball Super has handled transformations in this franchise. And for context, before we get started, I'm not just talking about the Dragon Ball Super series, I'm talking about all the material from Super. I'm talking about the manga, I'm talking about the anime, I'm also talking about the movies that came out starting with Battle of Gods. And if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z in your life, you know that transformations are like one of the main things in Dragon Ball. It's hard to have a conversation about Dragon Ball Z without talking about some type of form of transformation, whether it's Super Saiyans, whether it's even stuff like the Kaioken. It's hard to talk about any fight in Dragon Ball without mentioning transformations. A lot of times these transformations do help to drive the plot, they do help to turn the tide of battle, and they're also just a great visual indicator of power scaling in the series. Like a lot of times you can tell how strong an opponent is by just looking at Goku or Vegeta and seeing what form or what transformation they're in. A lot of times that can tell you on its own how strong the enemy is. But that does bring us to one of the problems that is starting to crop up in the franchise, and I'm talking about the franchise as a whole, not just Super. But we are having a small issue with power scaling, which is affecting certain characters in the series, and the transformations or the lack of transformations is definitely causing a bottleneck issue when it comes to trying to tell stories in Dragon Ball. And here's what I mean. In the original OG Dragon Ball series where, there were no real transformations or anything like that, most of the enemies and most of the antagonists that you dealt with in the original Dragon Ball series were humans, or if it wasn't humans, it was still, species of people that were similar to humans as far as strength goes, as far as skill goes. A lot of times the worst thing that they dealt with were, guns and firearms and stuff like that. And then toward the end of the series, of course, you did have exceptions to that rule. Like, of course, Demon King Piccolo was a whole different beast. But still, as far as that series goes, there are not a lot of huge, like planetary or galactic threats or anything like that. Like, it was very kind of small scale when it comes to that series. Now, of course, when you move on to Dragon Ball Z, stuff starts to change. Of course, Dragon Ball Z starts with the Saiyan arc, so we're already dealing with a race of people that are much stronger naturally than humans. So we're already having a difference in power scaling when it comes to that. We see how many people Nappa was able to take out by himself and things like that. So we're already dealing with somebody that is stronger than a regular human. And then after the Saiyan saga, we start to move on to the Namek saga and the Frieza saga. And at this point, we're already dealing with like planetary threats. We're already dealing with, stuff that is a threat to like the entire planet. And of course, here's where we see our very first, real transformation. That's going to be Goku going Super Saiyan. And I don't care what anybody says, it's the most iconic thing in anime, in not only just a Dragon Ball franchise, but pretty much any anime franchise. But anyways, as the series continues, we start to find ourselves dealing with Dr. Gero, dealing with the androids, dealing with Cell. And that they had a couple years to actually prepare for this threat. So, all the Z fighters are training. Of course, they're trying to figure out where Goku is too. But all the Z fighters are training because everybody wants to do what they can to help deal with this threat that's on the way. And then, of course, in this saga, we do see Vegeta reach Super Saiyan. We see Future Trunks show up, who's already mastered Super Saiyan. We see Gohan achieving Super Saiyan. And then, of course, at the end of the arc, we have Gohan hitting Super Saiyan 2, being the first Saiyan to hit Super Saiyan 2. And then during the Buu saga, we get more Super Saiyans in Kid Goten, Kid Trunks. We get Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Vegeta. We get Majin Vegeta. We get Super Saiyan 3 Goku. We get Gotenks. We get Vegito. We get we get Unlocked Potential Gohan. Like, we get a lot of stuff in the Buu saga. Like, the Buu saga is probably the best saga for transformations and things like that. If you like a lot of different power scaling, Buu saga is probably one of your favorite sagas. But the Buu saga is where I see a lot of the issues that I'm talking about start to crop up, because during this arc, a lot of the characters that we've grown to love, a lot of the Z fighters and stuff like that are not Saiyans, at this point they're kind of bowing out. Like, they're not doing anything to contribute to fights and stuff. A few of them are not even attempting to train no more because they have admitted to themselves and just basically accepted the fact that they cannot keep up with the Saiyans. So a lot of them are not even attempting to fight. You're not expecting them to come and help out in any way when it comes to Boo. Like, a lot of them are just not helpful when it comes to the Boo arc. Back in the Saiyan saga, back in the Namek saga, even in the Cell saga, the Z fighters were at least attempting to, like train. They were at least attempting to help out. They were, even if they knew that they were outmatched, they would do what they can. They were willing to lay their life down. Basically, whatever they needed to do, even if it was sacrifice their own life, they would do it to make sure that they could help out. Even though a lot of the times the plan was just to stall out till Goku got there. Through those first few arcs, they were willing to do that. But of course, in the Buu saga, a lot of that goes away. A lot of them do nothing. And then of course, several of them end up getting killed by Buu anyway. And so you see characters that we love, like Piccolo and Tien and other ones like that. They kind of just get demoted to exposition machines. They don't really do anything besides, help say stuff to move the story forward. And it's like a lot of these characters, we've grown to love, we've grown to deal with, and a lot of them don't get screen time, they don't get action time, they don't get nothing no more because of the power scaling of the show. You always have to have stronger threats. And so you have, Gohan and Piccolo that all they can really do is watch. And even talking about, Goku and Vegeta, and like I said, the Saiyans, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, and Gohan, a lot of them are just kind of chasing each other at this point. And what I mean is, one of them is finding a new form, and the other ones are scrambling to find a way to reach that form. Gohan hits Super Saiyan 2. The big reveal in Buu Saga is that now Goku can hit Super Saiyan 2. Now Vegeta can hit Super Saiyan 2. And these are, these forms are, dope, but they're just trying to reach something that Gohan already reached. So like a lot of these forms that are being revealed are just, them chasing each other to trying to reach the same power that somebody already has. So the transformations didn't really feel meaningful. It just felt like they were trying to catch up to whoever got there first. And the beginning of the reign of Dragon Ball Super makes this much worse because the movie Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, they introduce a form that is so specific that Goku is literally the only person that can achieve that form. And that by itself is dope if Goku was the only one to retain that form, but then the next time we actually see it, Vegeta has it too. And Vegeta just achieves it off screen. And it should be a big reveal that Vegeta has a new form, but the new form is just something that Goku already got. So there's no real, it's not as special as the first time seeing Gohan go Super Saiyan 2. It's not as special as seeing Goku go Super Saiyan for the first time because all Vegeta just did was catch up to Goku. He didn't do anything special. And this creates a problem with storytelling for me because when it comes to Dragon Ball Super, now we're dealing with universal threats. We're dealing with galactic threats. We're dealing with, people that can just eliminate our whole way of life. And so narratively, you have a problem trying to write something that the audience can't predict because, you're dealing with the god of destruction. We know y'all not gonna send Yamcha out there. Like, we're not expecting Tien to come out and help. Like, it just got to the point where we know that if there is a fight, it is going to be a stall for Goku or stall for Vegeta moment because their power is so much higher than everybody else's that you can predict how the story gonna go. Goku and Vegeta gonna show up, they're gonna power up, they're gonna beat the enemy. Like, there's no element of surprise. The power differential is just so huge, and so you don't get a lot of special moments like you got in Dragon Ball Z. Like, for example, you don't get Piccolo going head to head with Android 18 like that. Like, you don't get, Vegeta helping Gohan kill Cell. You don't get those in Super, at least initially, because everybody else's power is so low compared to the two main people in the series. But I believe that Dragon Ball Super has taken 4 small steps to fix this issue. Those steps are Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, Gohan Beast, and Orange Piccolo. These transformations are game-changing for the Dragon Ball franchise, and it's not just because they're new transformations that we haven't seen, although that is a big part of it. But the thing that is special about it is because these transformations are so unique. Goku's Ultra Instinct is not just like a form of Super Saiyan 5 that we're going to expect the other Saiyans to eventually reach, whether on screen or off screen. Like, it's not a power that we're going to expect the other Saiyans to chase, or the other Saiyans to be able to inherit because they're the same race. These transformations, at least at face value, seem to be unique to the person that unlocks it. Gohan's transformation is like a further unleashing of the potential that, we all have known he had, and it was unlocked at one point in Z, but this is just a further ascension of that unlocked potential. Piccolo's form is like a form of a blessing of Shenron, but it's also unlocked potential, but it's specific to his Namekian heritage. Vegeta's Ultra Instinct is a form that is achieved through the training of being a god of destruction, which is something that, you know, Goku and Trunks wouldn't do. And then Goku's Ultra Instinct is a divine transformation that rivals even the gods because, hey, Goku's Goku. And so it just goes back to these transformations seem to be unique, not only in visual but in character to the person that's achieving the form. Because let's be real, like who else would inherit a form called Ultra Ego except for Vegeta? These forms make like the concept of transformation exciting again because you're not just seeing Gohan reach a height that Vegeta already reached. Gohan is unlocking his own transformations. Vegeta is unlocking his own path to get stronger. Goku has his own path to get better. Like, instead of everybody trying to reach the form that Goku reached last arc, everybody has their own branch to go through. Everybody has their own way that they need to power up. Everybody has their own links to get to. And when we see these people achieve these new transformations and achieve these new forms, they're achieving forms that nobody else has ever seen. So it's gonna make it all the more special. So I hope that Super continues this trend of giving each person their own power-ups, giving each person their own character and their own path to go. And not only do these forms just like look cool or whatever, but they actually put more people back in the field of play. Like Gohan's transformation and Piccolo's transformations at least get them close to where Goku and Vegeta are. So now when it comes to new enemies and when it comes to trying to, you know, write new stories, you can write stories not just centered around Goku and Vegeta. You can write stories that are not just, you know, basically wait for Goku and Vegeta to show up because they're the only ones that can handle this. You have other characters that can at least hold their own, even if in the end, you know, it still ends up being a Goku and Vegeta situation, because let's be real, it's going to end up a Goku and Vegeta situation. But with that being said, I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments if you agree with me or whether I'm way off base. Let me know, but I appreciate you guys checking out the video so much, and I'll see y'all on the next one.